Welcome to video 2 and the continuation of this response video titled Why Black Business Don't Survive. Now, I'm going to quote a few meanings and definitions for the word black from the English dictionary, even though I am well aware of the fact that many of my viewers do not believe in dictionaries, let alone believe in using them. In fact, I am well aware that some of you, my viewers, have absolutely no regards for the authenticity of lexicons or dictionaries. For example, here is one quote from one of my viewers who is an author, a public speaker, a lecturer, and a man who represents himself as being one of North America's most successful black businessmen. Here is just a portion of one of his comments on my use of the English dictionary to define the meaning of the word black. And I quote, "Dictionary is man-made and marketing designed. It would take an intelligent individual to see beyond those stupid books." Unquote. To this, I must respectfully say that I strongly disagree, because I honestly do not think that I can or that I will ever be able to effectively communicate in a language with someone or with anyone that honestly thinks and believes that the dictionaries or that dictionaries and lexicons of that particular language are stupid books. I must also admit that the English language, or that English, is not my natural, native, earthly, human language or tongue. The very word English should tell us to whom it belongs and where it came from. And for your information, it is the British, Anglo-Saxons, European, Caucasian colonizers' language. It is the alien conquerors, colonizers, oppressors, and slave masters' language. And definitely not one that I have any reason whatsoever to say that I am proud of. I must also admit that I do not know all about the English language. And I know that it was never and it is not the intent of the colonizers and masters for me or for others to understand, to truly understand the English language. So I have to constantly use its dictionary or dictionaries to try and understand what the English words mean. And by so doing, I'm able to get more insight into the thinking and mindset of the masters and conquerors. Number 2, or rather, here is another comment from one of the system's educator, scholar, and a reverend doctor. And I quote, he said, "Stop with all that Moorish nigger bullshit. I don't care what black people call themselves. Other races of people will still hate us and look down upon us. The reason why they look down upon us is not because we call ourselves black, but it's because of our race and the fact that we are totally different totally different than any other race of people on the planet. Black is the highest color in the universe, and it is a symbol of strength and power." He continued by asking, "What color business suit do the white global elite wear?" He answered himself by saying, "Probably black." Unquote. Now, here is a quote number 3. Here's another quote from another of the system's trained scholars, one who is also an author, a lecturer, a doctor, and a very zealous advocate and promoter of darkness and blackness. He said, and I quote, "You're a fool. This means nothing, absolutely nothing. Black people need resources. What we call ourselves is not going to save us. This is why black people are in a dire straits, because we put all our energy into bullshit reasonings, bullshit ideologies. Unquote. Now, for the record, and to you, my viewers, I too have a doctorate degree, but I will hasten to say, and must also hasten to admit, that I am not in the least in the same elite categories as these system-trained and educated doctors. Not at all. Unlike them, I do not know much about shit. I do not study shit. Or I did not study shit back then. Nor do I study shit now. I am not a shitologist. Nor am I a doctor of shit. I do not give shit and I do not take shit either. Nor do I think about shit or talk about shit, because shit is not always on my mind. I do not know the difference between what they call Moorish shit, or rather the difference between bullshit. Nor do I know the difference between the female cow shit. I have absolutely no knowledge of what is called Moorish shit or Moorish bullshit. And I have no knowledge of what is called nigger shit or nigger bullshit. I don't know what it is. And I most certainly don't know what bullshit reasonings or bullshit ideologies are. Therefore, if my observation and interpretation of these two doctors and their attitude and comments on my humble and genuine attempt at just trying to get them, the system's professors and intellectuals, to intelligently and without prejudice examine the meaning of the word black, if I'm correct, then logically I must conclude that they have hereby presented themselves as doctors of shit, specializing in bullshit, I suppose. Now, with that said, let me now quote for you some of what the word black means in the English dictionary and in the English language. According to the English dictionaries, the word black, an adjective, means, and I quote, the opposite of white. Number 2, characterized by absence of light. 3, enveloped in darkness. 4, gloomy. 5, pessimistic. 6, dismal. 7, harmful. 8, very dirty. 9, sullen or hostile. 10, threatening. 11, without any moral quality or goodness. 12, evil. 13, wicked. 14, indicating censure, disgrace. 15, marked by disaster or misfortune. 16, grimy. 17, angry. And the list continues on and on. And within all of these destructive, what I call destructive and unproductive descriptions, is to be found black, meaning a dark-skinned person, as a Negro. Now just think about that. Now let me quickly elaborate on definition number 1, 2, and 10. Throughout this series I will cover the rest. Black means the opposite of white. Much different to white. In other words, black is that which is of marked contrast to that which is white. Meaning, black is not equal to white. Nor can it or will it ever be equal to white. Or vice versa. White will never and cannot be equal to black. So if you, my friends, honestly think and honestly believe that your next door neighbor is white, your co-worker is white, and if you honestly think and believe that your spouse, your partner, or your buddy and best friend is white, and that you are black, and at the same time you honestly think and believe that you are their equal, or you are equal to them, and that they are your equal, or that they are equal to you, then from my perspective, you are being deceived. On the contrary, not only are you being deceived, but you are a fool, meaning a person of little sense or intelligence. But not just a fool, a black fool. Number 3, or definition number 2 and 3. Black means that which is characterized by the absence of light. This means that if you are black, then you lack spiritual enlightenment and spiritual illumination. It means that you are lacking in everything that has to do with light. It means that you have a blackened heart, a blackened mind, a blackened outlook towards life, etc. Therefore, you cannot be black and at the same time represent yourself as being the children of the light, as being the light of the world, because darkness or blackness does not light or does not shine or give light. If you are truly black, it means that not only are you in ignorance, but that you are hopelessly blotted out, blacked out, you are totally engulfed in darkness or blackness. Definition number 10, black meaning threatening. Now, have you ever asked yourself the question, why as humans, we all have some degree of the thing called fear of the dark, or fear of blackness? For example, the fear of a dark room, a black room, or the fear of a black hole, or the fear of a black cave, a dark or a black forest, or a dark or a black road, etc. Have you ever wondered why people who call themselves black and believe that they are black fear each other? They fear each other to the point that they would, without any sense or reason, or good reason, they sabotage, fight, and kill each other. Some people who call themselves black don't even want to live amongst others that also call themselves black. Now, this is the end of video 2. Please switch to video 3 for the continuation and completion of this presentation.